March 9th, 2012, recorded live in the News That Shouldn't Be newsroom in the stylish high-tech underground studios of Ribbit Media in Warwick, Rhode Island. This is NewsUndies. For March 9th, 2012, this is NewsUndies, all the news that shouldn't be news. I'm Paul Torville with these headlines. Deep sea monkey Davy Jones dead of a heart attack at 66. CNN has the decency to note his passing before returning to their coverage of Whitney Houston's untimely death. A 50-year-old speech made by John F. Kennedy intended to allay Protestant fears that he would be taking orders from the Pope if elected president just now causes Rick Santorum to throw up in his mouth a little. Right-wing wiener sinker Breitbart dead at 43. Finally, religious people put their pride where their mouth is. Jewish school basketball team forfeits championship because the big game was scheduled on Sabbath. Unprecedented. Gasoline approaches 2008 prices. Again. Like rats leaving a sinking Zeppelin, advertisers flee Limbaugh's show. One wonders, with all the thousands of other inflammatory remarks Limbaugh has made over the years, what specifically triggered the exodus. Put another way, we've all known since at least the Clinton administration that Rush Limbaugh possesses the only digestive tract in the history of vertebrates with an anal sphincter at each end. What is it about this particular turd that was so inexcusably offensive and damaging to the image, say, of AOL? I don't know. Syria. Wow! Now there's a vacation spot. Maybe the army can set up its condos and jet ski docks over there. Hey gang, it's time for celebrity birthdays once again. I got my cake hat on. Let's rock! For Saturday the 25th, Enrico Caruso, dead, and Zeppo Marx, dead. For Sunday the 26th, Victor Hugo, dead, and William Frawley, dead. For Monday the 27th, Elizabeth Taylor, dead, and Howard Hessman. For Tuesday the 28th, Frank Bonner, and Gilbert Gottfried. For Wednesday the 29th, Lou Costello, dead, and Carolyn Porco. For Thursday the 1st, Roger Daltrey and Dirk Benedict. For Friday the 2nd, Mark Evans and John Bon Jovi. For Saturday the 3rd, Miranda Richardson and Ira Glass. For Sunday the 4th, Paula Prentice and Dieter Meyer. For Monday the 5th, James B. Seiking and Murray Head. For Tuesday the 6th, David Gilmour and Rob Reiner. For Wednesday the 7th, Willard Scott and Rick Mail. Woof woof. For Thursday the 8th, Mickey Dolenz and Freddie Prinze Jr. For Friday the 9th, Yuri Gagarin, dead, and Bobby Fischer, dead. That's celebrity birthdays. I'm Paul Torville and I'm done! Coming up after the break, Banana Man's hetero life mate, drilling for baby drills, and Jews versus Mormons. Fight!
It can be hard to think rationally when a loved one passes away. This can be especially true in the event of untimely death or when religious or cultural traditions demand quick interment of remains. Blue and Flatley Funeral Homes are here to ensure your needs are served in the most efficient and profitable way possible. At Blue and Flatley Funeral Homes, your money is very important to us, and we want to make sure we do everything you can afford to put your mind at ease. Blue and Flatley, profiting from the misery of others since 1883.
Kirk Cameron. Despite a valiant effort to torpedo his own campaign with monumentally inflammatory and surprisingly narrow-minded rhetoric, Rick Santorum managed to close second place to Mitt Romney on Super Tuesday. Interestingly, among the people expected to go Santorum's way, Catholics from Ohio left him out in the cold. Gingrich managed a decisive victory in his home state of Georgia, which puts him in the got one more state than Ron Paul club. In case you need it spelled out for you, Ron Paul didn't win a single state. Romney managed to take Massachusetts, but judging by the publicity at one Massachusetts polling place, you'd never know there was voting going on at all. Here's me with an on-a-scene report. Since Rhode Island doesn't hold its primary on Super Tuesday, I decided to take a ride to Seekonk, Mass. to see how the GOP rolls there. Polling sign. Polling sign. And that's it. You're on your own.
It's Super Tuesday. Behind me is Seekonk High School, home of the Warriors. And so we're going to see if we can get some insight as to how voters are voting today on Super Tuesday. This is not a camera trick or a short piece of tape carefully looped to appear as a long piece of dead roll. There really is nothing happening here, and almost no indication at all that this is a polling place. Well, it's only 8:30 a.m. and it's already, well, it's bitterly cold, to be frank with you. I'm in the parking lot because it's so freaking cold, and I'm trying to get a view of what's going on here at the school with the voting. There doesn't appear to be really a whole lot of activity, people going in and out. Who knew?
Thanks, me. Petroleum continues to be more expensive and harder to get at. It's not going to get any cheaper or easier to get at. There has been talk about renewable energy. Would the $7 billion that the Keystone XL pipeline has been projected to cost be better spent on renewable energy research or production? Here are Pig and Sheep with their thoughts.
Pipeline! Drill, baby, drill! Jobs! Oil! Drill! Drill! Oil! Drill! Oil! Drill! Oil! Drill! Oil! Expanding the petroleum infrastructure only further entrenches petroleum as the dead-end energy source that will leave us drained, poor, and dirty. Let's phase out oil and coal while we can still do so on our own terms.
That's what Pig and Sheep think. What are your thoughts? Email them to ovcomments@newsundies.com. Mormons have for a long time been baptizing dead non-Mormons into the Mormon faith. They see it as doing a favor for the dead, giving them a chance at Mormon paradise. For a long time, many Americans really didn't give this lunacy much of a second thought. That is, until they baptized Anne Frank. Then the proverbial fecal matter struck the notional rotary atmospheric circulation inducer. How could these weirdies co-opt such an iconic modern Jewish hero? Easily, as it turns out. Frank has no living relatives, and apart from playing the We're Jews card, the larger Jewish community has no standing or clout to pressure anyone. It was clearly wrong and patently offensive, but it would be like the Greeks getting honked off if the Church of Scientology claimed Democritus of Abdera as one of their own. But then, the Mormons went too far. And too far, apparently, by quite a stretch. They baptized dead Jewish Wall Street Journal reporter Daniel Pearl. This will not stand! Don't go away. Coming up after the break, baking on the Jersey Shore, Jeff Goldblum facts, and parting is such sweet sorrow.
Your childhood. George Lucas. In 1977, George Lucas made your childhood. In 1997, George Lucas took your childhood away. In 1999, George Lucas made you watch as he bent your childhood over a stump. Now, George Lucas wants you to watch him violating your childhood in 3D. Finally, someone is here to stop George Lucas from defiling your childhood memories anymore. But we need your help. The Original Trilogy Restoration Alliance has been established to raise all the money necessary to distract George Lucas from thinking Star Wars needs to be revised again. Please, give generously. This is our most desperate hour. Help us save your memories. You're our only hope.
Nicole Polizzi. And now, here's Ryan Hanley with another Jeff Goldblum fact.
You know Jeff Goldblum. I understand Jeff Goldblum at one time had a cat named Billy. From what I hear, he got it from a woman named Mrs. Fuzzlewuzzies. Which is weird because you would think the names would be the other way around. But they're not! Back to you.
Thanks, Ryan.
Fascinating.
And now, it's time for Moose Weintraub and the Sports Half Minute.
Moose Weintraub Sports Half Minute. It's a whole half minute of sports. 30 seconds of sports. Moose Weintraub Sports Half Minute.
This is your Sports Half Minute. I'm Moose Weintraub. Peyton Manning has completed his contract. Thanks, Moose. Always a great report from Moose. As tornadoes plow yet again through Tornado Alley, Kentucky got an extra little treat in the form of a fresh blanket of snow on the storm-tossed debris. Is this a sign that God loves Kentucky? Or perhaps a scolding for Kentucky? Or maybe, just maybe, a sign that there is no God and nature just doesn't care about anything but being self-consistent? Out of those three possibilities, I have no idea at all which might be closer to the real truth. Really. No idea. And finally, and I do mean finally, we all saw this coming, didn't we? George W. Bush impersonator Steve Bridges has died at the age of 48. Yep. We all saw that coming. He is survived by George W. Bush and Richard B. Dick Cheney. Perhaps the sadder fact. Well, that's all for this edition of NewsUndies. If you see news that shouldn't be news, you can submit your story tips online at NewsUndies.com. As always, you can check out the Ursus Pacificus Kitsch Cave for NewsUndies Kitsch. There's a link on the NewsUndies.com page. NewsUndies is normally a bi-weekly show, but we'll be taking a little time off. We'll be back on Friday, April 6th with fresh undies. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell the hipster who makes your coffee in the morning. NewsUndies is a show you can watch. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Paul Torville. After that, I might be considering getting on the Rush Limbaugh is a douchebag bandwagon. Because I see a trend developing. Who knows? Maybe he really is a douchebag. I knew Rush was a jackass the first time I heard him back in 1991, just for the record.